Hey everyone, hey, we're live. Welcome back to Web Squadron. Imran Sadiq here, and we've got a special session on today. For the first time, we're doing a joint session with Vito Peleg from Atarim. Now, Vito is going to give us a quick intro, and I'll just let you know that we're going to be doing question and answer. I've got some questions for him, but we'll see where the conversation goes as well. But also, we'll talk a lot more. Well, we'll see how the session goes, to be honest. So, Vito, do you want to tell us more about yourself, or yeah, basically tell us about yourself. What are you up to?
Okay, so my name is Vito, and I'm the founder and CEO of Atarim, which is a platform that helps web agencies and freelancers to collaborate with their clients. And I actually started building websites when I was 14 years old, back in the GeoCities days, if you remember that, Imran.
Yeah, yeah.
Stealing Wi-Fi from my parents, or before Wi-Fi, like on the modem thing. And then I went on to become a freelancer, built a few hundred websites from the road. I was kind of traveling back then as a leader of a rock band, building websites from the back of a van that I was living in for a few years. And then I settled here in London, in the UK, and started building a web agency. Went on to build more than 1,000 projects for small to medium businesses here in the UK. And grew pretty quick to a team of 12 within a couple of years. And from there, we kind of figured out what are the problems in our industry. We had the ability to see things at a pretty interesting scale. And that's when Atarim came about, or back then it was called WP Feedback. Later, it was renamed to Atarim. And yeah, and now we're a week before the Web Agency Summit. That I'm excited to have you there, Iman, to speak. Last year, I remember you from the chat feed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was there. I think I was invading every conversation, wasn't
Perfect.
I? But yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to have you there, and sporting the Bertha shirt as well. So I'm also the co-founder of Bertha.ai. We got an opportunity to collaborate on this. You did an amazing job on helping us with all the videos and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for this session today.
Well, I'm going to start off saying it's great to speak to Vito. Got to know him last year, and I found him so magnetic in he oozes personality, and I loved it. And also the opportunity to work with him and Andrew on Bertha, but to be invited back to Atarim, to be able to do like my own talk on there is huge and amazing. I just want to say, I did not know you had created that many websites. I mean, I now understand that when I now go onto Google and I see all the really bad websites, I'm going to go, I bet Vito did that. That's what I'm going to start suspecting now. But I think it's a fantastic, I think the amount of stuff you've done in the past and the fact of how you've made Atarim. And I would recommend to everyone right now, you can see it on the ticker tape. We're not here just to promote Atarim. It's about Vito and question and answers, but the Atarim event is free. I'll be doing a talk there. There's loads of people. There's skilled people, entrepreneurs, helping you to scale up your business and think differently. The fact it's free and anyone can join worldwide. I learned so much when I attended last year. It opened my eyes as to what we need to do with our business. So I would say, like, what is it? 3-4 days? No, 3 days.
4 days.
4 days. 26 to 29 April. Go in, join in. Okay, so I'm going to kick off with some questions, and some of the questions you're going to get, Vito, are going to like throw you. Okay,
I like it.
So I want to know, what do you hate most about being a male?
A male.
A male.
Actually, there's all. Mostly, it's good, to be honest. And I see my wife getting ready every morning, 2 hours before the day starts, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I can read, I can learn, I can do all kinds of other stuff. I don't know, what do I hate about it? I actually never thought about this. I like that we can just pee everywhere.
You can get away with it, yes. Do you mean standing? Do you mean standing in the shower? Yes, you do. Yes, I know where you go.
In the shower, I try to avoid it, but sometimes there's no way around it, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you now. What I hate about
Yes,
being a male is shaving and
right.
trimming and hair growth, and I know women out there will say, "Well, we do the same,"
True.
but ours is more visceral, isn't it? Ours is just like all over the place. But yeah, that's what I hate about being a male.
So I used to be like clean shaved, and
Yeah, you
during
did. You
during
did.
COVID, I just let it loose, and it just became like another head. Just I could flip my head and it would be the same, right?
Yeah.
So now I can relate to what you're saying. I'm trying to take care of it, but I'm not that good at it.
No, I know. And I would say to anyone, if you do Google Vito, when you see the images of Vito, you will see he seems to go through a transition of hairstyles, don't you? And you look at an image, you try and go, I think that was taken 5, 6 years ago, because you try and work out when the image was taken based on your hairstyle.
Yeah, well, when I was, when I was standing on stages, I used to have like really long hair up
Yeah.
around here, and just like head banging the whole thing and all that kind of stuff. But now I'm kind of sporting the dad look
Yes.
since I became a dad recently. Yeah, I'm liking it. I like the dad look.
So that leads me on. I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I might be wrong. But in terms of, it can either be a personal moment or a professional moment, but what was your proudest moment? So what made you suddenly just stop and go, wow? Other than joining this live chat, what was your proudest moment?
That's first of all, that's the top of my career right there.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think one of the most exciting things that happened to me recently was hearing my little girl saying "daddy" for the first time in Hebrew. She said "Abba."
Oh, okay.
So that was really like it kind of really touched me. And on on the professional side, that would be the launch of the product, because I was trying to figure out a way to grow beyond the agency model. The agency model is very hard to scale, as
Hmm.
you probably know, Imran.
Yes. Yeah.
So as we were getting to this kind of certain size, and I was thinking, what's next? And I kind of like figured out that to get to my base goal, I needed to have a team of 40 people building websites. And so the next level after that is creating a product that allows
Hmm.
you to scale beyond man hours, right? Or like physical hours. So when that launched and the responses were amazing, that was one of the really proudest moments that I kind of managed to hit the nail on its head with something that I thought would help a lot of people, but you never know until you launch something, right?
Yeah. So,
So yeah, I
so I was
remember
going
that.
to, so what I was going to say, Sta, is for those people that aren't fully familiar with Atarim, it's almost like a two-way communication tool where your clients and users are able to highlight problems, but also you back to them as well. So it's like a notification board, and it means that you're not getting lost in emails or WhatsApp messages. But I wanted to just take you a step back to, you mentioned you wanted to create something to help people, but what gave rise to Atarim, to the product? What was it? Was it that you were getting so annoyed by people going, I want this, I want that, and things just got lost in translation?
There were two cases that really drove us to this. One thing was we were working on this massive e-commerce website with like a few thousand products, and the website was already live, and the client was a really big client. And then one day, and they had like they have like a chain of shops, right? Like tea shops. They sell tea.
Yeah.
And so the business owner was there at one of the shops, and I could picture him just walking around with all of the employees and all of the stuff that you need to do when you have a brick and mortar type of shop, and texting me that the button is missing. Someone told me that the button is missing.
Right.
There's 6,000 products. You can imagine how many buttons
Yes.
there are on the website. And so started a whole conversation of what button, what are you talking about? We're on the website. We can see everything looks fine. And it literally took 3 days, and both of us getting pissed off just because. And when I say 3 days, it's not constant communications. It's
Yeah.
waiting for an hour for them to respond.
Yeah.
And he's doing something else, and all of those kind of things. So 3 days to pinpoint the exact product that he was talking about. And eventually it was just a WooCommerce product that ran out of stock. So the button, the add to cart button, was automatically hidden. So it was an
Got it.
expected behavior that wasted loads of time and a lot of frustration for us and the client. That was one thing. And then the thing that actually drove us over the edge was a project where we were chasing this client for more than a year to get the About Us page, just the content for
Hmm.
the About Us page. And we just kept pushing, and just like just send us the content, let's get it over with, da, 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 da. All kinds of excuses, all kinds of back and forth. And it was fairly simple, but really she didn't know what to do, and she just didn't tell us that she doesn't know what to do.
Got it.
And so Atarim allows for visual collaboration. So all of these problems is just kind of out of the way. And the aha moment was like, what if they could just click any part of the website and just tell us what they need?
Yeah.
Change this text to this. Here we should say this. Here is the button that here I can't see anything where the button should have been. And and that would have saved us like a week of my life back then.
Yeah.
But that really triggered everything after we built it for us. It worked like magic, and then we decided to bring it to market and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me so much of how, working with professionals in an office environment, and you send them a document, they sent a document back and they said, oh, there's a few typos. And you were like, where? It's a
Where?
20-page document. And when they started using the review functionality of Word, it was so easy to fly through. But I totally get what you're doing with
Exactly.
that. Is there like, is there a movie or a film you've seen in your life that inspired you as a kid or an adult, that kind of you feel like it changed your trajectory, your mindset, something like that? Is there a movie, Hollywood, Bollywood, England, whatever, even a film from Israel, anything? Is there a movie that kind of hits deep, that inspires you?
Well, there was one when I was growing up, and I was all about music back then, right? Like I wanted to be a rock star. And so there's this film with Mark Wahlberg called Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
And I used to watch this back on DVD. So I got that DVD, and I watched it like twice a day growing up, until the CD wasn't working anymore.
Wow.
So that was something that really inspired me to go beyond just playing at home, and actually trying to do something and start touring and release albums, and really to see the world through music. And now with or even back then, early on I realized that even for the music side, I had to learn how to run it properly. It's not just about the product. It's not just about creating the song. It's about getting it out there, right? And it's the same for what we're doing now. It's not just about building the website or knowing how to build websites or creating a product. It's about bringing this to market and knowing how to get people interested in it. And so I read loads of book back then. One of the early books that really changed my mindset on things was Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's really kind of used to be
Yeah.
like a big thing back in the day.
Yeah.
And I read hundreds of books since then. Recently, one of the more interesting. And now I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff like this to get me inspired.
Yeah.
Recently, I watched the latest Will Smith film. He got a bit of a bad rep recently, rightfully so, if I may say so. But he won an Oscar for an amazing film
Yeah.
about being the dad of Serena and forgot the other
Venus.
Venus, right?
Yeah.
King Arthur is the name of the film, and that's
Yeah.
a brilliant film about setting a plan, going for it, not steering away from what you want to do, what you need to do, and just making the world shift around you to make that reality a thing. And that was really inspiring to see. And I love these kind of stuff, these kind of success stories, and how people transform themselves first to transform the world around them.
Yeah. And I think that kind of so I did have a question, but I think you've answered it in there, in that I heard a lot about how when you came on the scene and you were trying to get people to notice Atarim, you were attending events and,
Yeah.
you were putting yourself out there. So I can see how that rock star movie about, yeah, you're good at music, but no one's going to know about your music unless you get out there. And I think a lot of that can be said for freelancers and agencies. You're good, but if you don't get yourself out there with social media, with advertising, with website, by speaking to people, no one's going to know you exist. So,
Right.
believe in yourself, get out and do it.
Just get out and do it. Exactly. And Iwan, you're a perfect example of that. Just over the past couple of years, you've completely transformed your life
Yeah.
into doing exactly what you wanted to do, and it's working out. Looks like it's working out great.
It was working out great. After this session,
There's always downhill from
my
here.
popularity ratings are going to just skydive now, and no one's going to join us or talk to me again. You've obviously got a family, and I know you work a lot. You got Atarim, you got the Web Summit, you got Bertha as well. For anyone that hasn't used it, please go and try the Bertha tool. It's free. 1,000 words a month. It's totally free. Okay, I make no commission off this, but I'm just saying it's an amazing tool for getting your words done. But in terms of juggling, I know that as with a family and a father as well, I would say that in an entire day, I get about 6 to 7 hours sleep, and maybe 12 to 13 hours of my day is just work and videos and stuff like that. If you were to split your time between family and work and everything, do you find that you've got a very good even balance split, or do you sometimes find you're having to juggle a lot between all the projects and things you're involved in?
So no, I don't have a good balance, to be honest. But I don't see that as a bad thing,
Yeah,
really. My daughter goes to the daycare, so she's there. So I have my own daycare talking to you.
yeah,
So that's fine. I never really search for that thing too much, but I do have dedicated time. So I wake up 5 a.m. every day, and then I have 1.5 hours to myself where I just kind of work out and learn new things, and really work on myself first. And then the mornings is the time that I have with my daughter. So I wake her up, I take care of her in the morning, and then I take her to the daycare. I walk
yeah,
there, and then I start the day. But I finish pretty late. I start the day at around, I start working really at about 9, and I
yeah,
finish at about 9
yeah,
every day. Yeah,
yeah,
but I like it. I enjoy it, and
yeah,
I don't see myself getting frustrated by it because I enjoy what I do. There were times where I didn't. I enjoy what I was doing,
hmm,
and that's when you become tired.
yeah,
But now when you like it, you're actually I finish the day energized. I don't feel drained at the end of the day.
yeah,
I know there's a lot of discussions now about burnout and a lot of
mm,
mental health capacity and how much you can fit in a day. I think that, and I'm not in anywhere, any shape or form a professional around these type of things. But from my personal experience, the only times where I did feel this is because I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing at the time that I was doing it. So just make sure you're doing what you like, and just screw the rest, basically.
no, that's really good advice, because my wife as well sometimes says to me, oh, you're giving up your day job, you're doing this, and I now see you doing more hours, more and more
Yeah,
and more. And she thinks that that's not good. And I keep reminding her, no, I'm enjoying it. I
yeah,
love doing what I'm doing. So there's a difference. And I'm a bit like you. I stop work in the evening. I then watch a bit of Netflix and catch up TV. But then I sometimes go back onto my computer late at night, just because there's always something more to be done.
yeah. It never ends.
Yeah. I mean, how old is your daughter at the moment?
One version 1.5, I like to say.
1.5. Okay. Wait till they get to version 6. Then things change and trust me,
Yeah.
it gets a bit more difficult at that
Well,
point in
there's
time.
another one on the way, so we'll see what's happening
Oh,
then.
wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Due date? Have we got a due date soon?
It's gonna be in September. Around
Okay,
September.
okay. I thought you were going to say end of April with the summit, and I thought that's a bit of a
Same week.
yeah, that might be problematic. With regards to Atarim, um, what would you say was the silliest mistake? So something you did that you now look back on and go, I should never have done that, or never should have spoken to them, or never should have gone down. Was there any moment where you feel like it 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 just messed things up, or it made you feel down for a moment? Was there a mistake, or did everything go perfectly well?
No, it doesn't. It
Yeah.
still doesn't, and there's things to learn from every single day, every single action you can do better. But I don't let these things stop me from taking
Hmm.
action. I think that that done is better than perfect, you know. And you can. It's all about feedback loops, so you can always learn, and you're always gonna have another opportunity to do it better. And the summit now going into the third year. Year one, the whole thing crashed on the first day. So we had thousands of people coming in. We didn't mind or we didn't test it out properly when
Yeah.
it comes to how many people we can actually facilitate. And we thought that we're going to have about 500 people or so. And when we ended up with 3,500 people on the first year, the platform just couldn't take it.
Yeah.
So that crashed on that day, but we learned from it, and we actually made it. It kind of created a nice origin story for the event.
Yeah.
One thing that happened with Atarim is hiring. Hiring is extremely difficult
Hmm.
to nail properly or to do it right. And we had a team member that was with us for a while, and he was in charge of a pretty big project going in that was supposed to be released. And trusting team members is always hard, but it's always essential, right?
Yeah.
So all the trust was given, and then he completely botched it, man. Uh,
Ah.
and then when things started to unfold, then we realized that he actually hired someone to do the work that he was supposed to do under him without telling us. We found discrepancies in the code and all of those kind of things. So we spent about 4 months fixing what he broke in 1 month.
Wow.
And that taught me a lot in terms of firing fast.
Hmm.
You got to hire slow and fire fast.
Yeah, good, good.
Uh,
That's actually very true. You're absolutely right on that. Yeah. Um, Obviously you mentioned that, you built so many websites, and I know that, you use Elementor as well.
yeah.
But do you tend to focus mainly on just Elementor now, or do you mix and match between um so I don't it's not so much about what the client wants, it's about, do you tend to focus more on one type of solution, or do you mix and
Right.
match with others as well?
So throughout the years, we've used all kinds of different solutions. Before Elementor existed, I remember Yoni and the guys, because they're also from Israel.
Yeah.
So I remember them in the Facebook groups back then with their previous company with Pogo and all of those kind of. They were doing themes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been around long enough to write HTML straight up and experiment with Flash and
Yeah.
front page express and all of those kind of things. So technology changes all the time. Right now, the tool of choice is definitely Elementor. But in regards to your question, Iwan, the client can't decide.
Yeah.
That's
Good
the
answer. Good
yeah,
answer. That
like it's not up to them. It
No,
really is up to what we believe is the right tool for the job.
that's
And I would even take it further and say that it's not even what is the right tool for the job, is what is the right tool for us to do the job.
hmm.
So I guess you can do the same things that you do with Elementor, with Beaver Builder, or with Gutenberg now, or with Visual Composer and other stuff. But if you're proficient with one of them, then you're gonna do a better job with that tool.
Yeah.
Like I used to get into all of this kind of FOMO around, is WordPress the right thing? Should we try a different CMS,
Yeah.
or should we try a different tool? But eventually, every person has their technology that they know how to run, and that would be the best tool for them and for their clients.
I mean, I will say that I started using WordPress like, oh God, I don't know, 14, 15 years ago. And when we started taking the web design agency more seriously, I started to question myself. Is WordPress still the right
Right?
tool? And with over 40% of the world using it, and it's gone from strength to strength. it was like, yeah, it's the right choice. And I completely agree with you in that I only build with Elementor, not because I can't build with others, but because you're right. When you become more of an expert in one tool or a couple of tools, you know the limitations, the strengths, the
Right.
weaknesses, what you can and can't do, rather than. I mean, by the way, if anyone's watching this, if anyone says, "What about Wix?" I'm going to kick you out of the room right now. So there's some solutions I will not ever touch or go down. But no, but that's good. What's right? What's the most expensive thing you've ever purchased? And it cannot be your house or a car or your engagement or wedding ring. What's the most expensive thing that you've ever purchased?
That's gotta be like guitars and gear,
Do you
like
know?
that kind of thing.
I did think you were going to say that.
Yeah, that's
I
really expensive with this type of equipment.
I know.
Yeah, just
I
this one behind me is like a $4,000 tool.
Wow.
So yeah, guitar is I spent so much money on instruments over the years for sure.
Yeah, and I want to let everybody know that I have asked Vito this in the past, but those are real guitars. I said to him, "Are they just cardboard cutouts and you're pretending?" They are real guitars. So, I'm sure one day we'll get to hear him play maybe at the Atarim Summit. You should play at the summit.
Right, should
When
do
you
the
come
theme
to
song.
intro, you should kind of introduce yourself with a bit of a song or
I
something. You
like
should
that.
do it.
I might
You
do
know,
that.
I mean, then again, the ratings will skydive and everyone will drop off, and that will be it. That will be completely at the end. I mean, where do you? So I used to do a lot of writing before I started doing more on WordPress, and I've seen so many festivals and events. They start like this, and they become huge. Do you have I think what you guys are doing with the summit is brilliant with the Atarim, but do you have a roadmap for where you want to be in 5 years' time or 10 years' time? Do you because there are other events, right? There's other, WordCamp, there's all these other events. And Atarim Summit, loads of people hear about it, loads of people attending. Do you have a roadmap for where do you want to see it going at all? Or is it just like we just carry on and see where it goes naturally?
So I think that we found a really interesting niche in the market that makes sense for what I like or what I enjoy, as well as what people I believe need. So I love WordCamps, and like I'm also really excited about speaking at the upcoming WordCamp Europe in Porto, and we're sponsoring that as well. And before COVID, we used to sponsor almost every camp that was out there. With WordCamps, it's a lot of it is about the technology. It's a lot of it is about the builds, the tools, the actual the code itself. With Atarim, we try to look at this from a different point of view. Our differentiator or our kind of approach to the market is around let us help you build a business or how to create a sustainable agency to serve clients. So it's a lot more about the service delivery, the creating profitability, creating recurring revenue, there's even an area about creating websites, but it's not about everything about creating websites. It's how to create a website for clients, which is a different mindset compared to when you build your own. So that is the one thing that we're gonna keep as our kind of thing. When it comes to the roadmap, the way that we approached this after the first year was let's try and double it every year. And so second year we doubled it, and now we're trying to double it again. And every time we're kind of creating a new reality of what is the largest event in our space, because the one that is after us is only around 2,000 people. So there's nothing in terms of size, in terms of kind of place that the industry comes to hang out together, that even comes close to what we managed to create over the past few years. And I think that this is the game, because it's a different game to play. Some people want to create like a 60 people event that is, they sell a $2,000 ticket, and then you have like these tables, and that's fine, that's cool, that there's a place for that as well. For us, it's about the scale. Let's try and make it the biggest celebration of our industry ever, every year.
No, no. So before I come on to the final question, I do want to say that one of the questions we get asked a lot on our live chats is, how do I scale up my business? How do I find clients? How do I do this? And it's nothing to do with website building. It's more to do as a business. And that's why I strongly recommend anyone out there that just wants to learn a bit more from experts, from people that have done the good, the bad, and the ugly, get onto the Atarim Web Summit. It's free. What have you got to lose, other than having us invade your brains and your minds? So please, the link is down there. Go and click, go have a look, please do sign up. It's totally free. My final question is to do with, and it's kind of gone out of my head now, but my final question was to do with, of all the websites you've built, and you don't have to tell us the exact amount if you don't want to, but of the websites you built, how much was the biggest value one? So in terms of did you walk away with 20 million pounds? Because how else would you have got those guitars? But what was the biggest value? And you don't have to disclose that if you don't want it, but have you had a high ticket item where you were like, whoa, wow, kind of moment?
So there's actually an interesting story around this, because a lot of times in our industry, people talk about scoring these 10K projects, these 50K projects, and all of those kind of things. And while we did have some that were like that, the most profitable one, or the one that became the largest, didn't start like this at all. It was a $2.5 grand project that just started as a very basic MVP for a big idea by the founder, that she wanted to build something pretty exciting. It was like a marketplace for interior designers and stuff like this. And it started as a very basic MVP, just get it out there, test it out, and we try to build as little as possible and to get it out there as quickly as possible so she can test out her idea. And when she came in and she wanted to spend more, I actually told her that it's not the right choice. You don't know if it's going to work until you put it out there, until you start driving traffic to it, and until you start seeing if people care at all. And so she liked that approach a lot, or she liked the honesty of that suggestion. And so it started a $2.5 grand project, but it became more than 370,000 project over a span of 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, and she also sold it for a few millions later, so that's even better to know. And it's all WordPress.
Yeah.
And so this was a really interesting learning opportunity for me. And I strongly advise people to just get off of this tree of trying to find the biggest clients, those things. Just serve the client and make sure that you create longevity in that relationship. That's where the real profit and the real money is.
I'm really glad you've said that, because that's the exact same mindset we say to people, is that everyone talks about, I got a 20,000, 40,000. And I say they are rare. They are very rare. But it's about building the customer base, building the relationship, the transparency, the trust. And if they will refer you, they will come back to you. You will build up a bit of a friendship with them as well. So I think that's really good advice. Is there anything else you wanted to mention at all? Because this has been really good.
Thank
you. I'm really glad that you're very good at answering the questions as well. You're not falling off your chair and going,
only for the first one.
The one about the mail. I know. I wonder where he's going to go with this. But is there anything you wanted to add at all, or to finish off on at all? Anything you wanted to mention at all?
Well, just that I'm excited about the event coming up next week. I'm excited about your session, Imran. And just to meet as many people as possible in the hangout, in the lounge as well. We have like a really cool dedicated area where people can come in and meet each other. A lot of us are learning from each other through that, on top of the sessions, just by interacting like we're doing right here, just asking questions.
Exactly.
And the fact that we managed to get like some of the largest companies involved in the sponsors, and they're giving out some incredible prizes for free in the booth. So yeah, it's gonna be a really exciting thing. Happens once a year, and it's next week.
Exactly. So please don't miss out on it. Go over to the website, register. You'll get details come through, and make sure you attend. So I want to say thank you very much, Vito.
Thank you.
Um, I have a 6-year-old who is, I can hear him downstairs getting very annoyed because he wants me to take him to the park. And I said, you got to wait. I have an important meeting at the moment to do. So I've got to go and take him to the park. But it's been great fun, Vito. And of course, I'm sure I'll keep hearing and seeing you because of Bertha and Atarim and the
Right.
Web Summit and everything else. But I want to say thank you. And if anyone is watching this on replay or whatever, please share it. Please hit like. Make sure you sign up to the Atarim Summit because hopefully we're going to hear Vito play his guitar or not. But anyway, look, thanks very much, everyone. Take care and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.